Hello, my name is Cher Grieving, and this is my introductory video for EDL 853, Module 1. I am currently teaching at Logan High School in Logan, Kansas. I just completed my 23rd year. All of those years have been at Logan schools. I am married to my husband Colby. We've been married for 26 years, and we have 4 children. A daughter who's 24, who graduated Kansas State and is working at the HR department at Valley Hope. Another daughter who is 20 and will be a junior at Fort Hays. She wants to become a teacher. A son who is 18 and will attend Bethel College in the fall, and a daughter who is 16 who will be a junior at Logan High School. My undergrad degree is from Fort Hays State in elementary education. After obtaining my degree, I taught music for 10 years at Logan, and then decided to pursue my master's degree in special education from the University of Nebraska at Kearney, and I am currently teaching 7th through 12th grade special education. I have coached junior high volleyball and basketball for 25 plus years. I was actually coaching before I became a teacher, and I'm currently the athletic director at Logan Middle School. I enjoy reading music, following the Royals and the Wildcats. Besides teaching, my primary responsibilities at Logan include supervising my 3 para-educators within the resource room. I have some administrative duties that include scheduling, mentoring, advising, and evaluating. I also have administrative duties with my athletic director position, which includes scheduling activities, issuing contracts, supervising events, mentoring, sponsoring coaches. And I also have leadership roles and responsibilities within my community. I am the local 4-H club community leader and the county 4-H club council advisor, and I also serve on the fair board. As I've said before, I am a special education teacher, so the learning tools that we use in my district for students with special needs include inclusion. Special education students are mainstreamed within the general education classroom. This is a priority for me and with my students in the resource room. I want to work to get these students back into the classroom, if at all possible, to learn from their peers and learn from the certified teacher of that subject. In order to do this, they must have para-educator support. I oftentimes will send a para into the classroom to sit at the back of the room and just take note of what the student is doing well with and what the student may need extra support with. We also provide appropriate modifications and accommodations for these students when they're in the general education classroom. At Logan, I have great general ed teachers that work with me and help to carry out these modifications and accommodations. And an example of a modification might be just simply modifying the chapter test to help them succeed. An accommodation might be allowing them to listen to the text online on a device as opposed to reading the text. When appropriate, the students will receive individual instruction within the resource room. If the student is not able to be mainstreamed, then we will pull a curriculum based on their performance level, and we will teach that student one-on-one, providing the individual instruction that they need. And always assessments will be used to determine the need, to determine modifications, accommodations, and to determine curriculum. I personally like to use these following materials and strategies. I oftentimes will pull life skills curriculum, such as a life skills math or a life skills English, to help the student progress as opposed to a geometry or a literature textbook. If my student is transitioning into a vocational school to learn a vocational skill, obtain a certificate or a license, then I want to concentrate on life skills curriculum as opposed to other. We also work to create independent learning. We offer courses online, and this might be a strategy or a method of material that we use for students with disabilities. If we find that they are best they are best learning by themselves at their own pace with an online instruction, then we will not hesitate to do that for them to obtain their credit. I have curriculum at all grade levels in my classroom in the resource room, and I will pull that based on their performance level, and then we will work up from there. My goal is to keep students in the general education classroom, like I said before, with accommodations and modifications. We also use a study skills period at the end of the day to reinforce study habits for these students in the resource room. And we have an annual goal on the IEP, and we write benchmarks to work towards that goal, and then we assess quarterly to make sure that the student is meeting that goal. If not, we need to reevaluate the way we are teaching. The plans that I have to improve my current practices include continued communication between the resource room and the general ed teachers. They need to know what I expect from them. I need to know how it's going for them. I communicate by giving them a quick glance at their IEP, their individual education plan, which lists out the accommodations and modifications so they can stay on top of that. And if they're not able to provide those, they will ask me to help, and I help, and the para also helps as well. We have continued goals for each student with a disability to become an independent learner. I want to help this kiddo transition from high school to life, knowing the skills and strategies that they need to be successful in any type of work or post-secondary schooling they are attending. And also I want to teach self-advocacy skills, and that's my plan to improve for my students within the resource room. Impact on funding might include, with less funding, I might have to deal with fewer paraeducators, and that means I'm doubling up a para with many students to work with. These women are wonderful. The men and women who work as paraeducators in schools have great impacts on students with disabilities, and if they are doing their job appropriately, man, they are worth $1 million to a resource room teacher. Great paraeducators are hard to find and hard to come by, but when you've got one, you have something very special. They might the special ed co-ops or districts might have to condense special education teachers, and no longer may we have an elementary SPED teacher and a high school SPED teacher, but they could possibly come in and tell us one SPED teacher for the entire district. And then some devices such as communication tools, therapy tools, or assistive technology tools may be too expensive to buy. So grant writing is very important, which I've had to do for some of our tools within the resource room. There's money out there. You just have to figure out how to find it and write the grant to obtain it. So this is all for now. Thank you.